Okay, so graphing inequalities. So this is just going to be practicing the graphing, and then I'm going to show you how to do the quiz part. So first, remember to graph. This is our y-intercept. So we're going to go to the y-axis at +4 and put a point. And then this is our slope. So we attach the negative with the top or the bottom, but not both. Okay, so we don't want this. All right, so I always attach the negative with the top. So that tells me I'm going to go down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then the second number here tells me how far I move left or right. And since it's positive, I'm going to move right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, and then take a ruler. Okay, and then we have to determine where to shade. So we're saying that y is greater than. So all of my answers have to be greater than this equation, okay? So I'm going to shade above. What we can do is we can replace x and y with zeros. So then -4/5 times 0 is 0, so that's 4. We're just left with 4. So then we check, is 0 greater than 4? Well, nope. So that means the point 0, 0 does not work. I don't want to shade the point 0, 0. So here's the point 0, 0, and I just said I don't want to shade it. So I'm going to shade on the other side of the line. Okay? And that's it. The shading is the solution. All right, so then sometimes we are not given y equals. So in order to graph this, we have to turn it into y equals. So I have 5x minus 4y is greater than or equal to 8. So I'm trying to get y by itself. So we start off by subtracting our x. So those cancel, bring down the negative with the 4y. 8 minus 5x, and then divide everything by -4. Now remember, when we divide by a negative, you have to flip your sign. Okay, so your inequality sign flips when you divide by a negative. 8 divided by -4 is -2. Negative divided by negative becomes +5/4 x. Now we're going to graph this. So we start at -2. So our y-intercept, our slope is a +5/4. So up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, to the right 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, and then we draw this line. Okay, so now replace x and y with zeros. So 5/4 times 0 would just be 0, so I'm left with -2. Now, is 0 less than or equal to -2? No, 0 is not smaller than -2. So this point right here is not part of our solution. It did not work. So I'm going to shade on the other side. All right, now one mistake that I did make over here, I do want to point out. So this was less than or equal to, so we had a solid line. If it's just greater than or just less than, then this should be a dotted line. So that is my fault. I apologize. So that should be a dotted line going through. I'll put it up here at the top. So if you have these, that equals a dotted line. And if you have these, that equals a solid line. Okay? All right, so then the system is just you're graphing and doing 2 equations on one graph. And wherever the shading overlaps, that's your solution. So in this first one, these both have y by themselves, so I can just immediately graph them. So we're at +2. So down 1 to the right 3. So again, I did -1 over +3. You could have done a +1 over -3. So I could have gone up 1, +1, and to the left 3 because it's negative. Okay, and this has the equal to, so that's going to be a solid line. All right, and then again, if I replace my x and y with zeros, -1/3 times 0 is 0. So we're just left with 2. So 0 less than or equal to 2, and that is true. So here's my point 0, 0. It did work this time, so I want to shade over that point. Okay, all right. And then we do the same thing to the next one. So this is at -1. And then it's 2/3. So up 2 to the right 3. And most of the time they are going to intersect. They'll have common points. Now notice that this is just greater than, no equal to, so I'm going to make this a dotted line. Okay. And then if I replace zeros, I have 0 is greater than -1, and that is true. So that means, again, the point 0, 0 is part of the solution. So now I'm just looking at the dotted line, and I'm going to shade above this dotted line. All right, now where the green is, that's your solution. But there's nothing you have to write. Like, that's it. You just leave it exactly like that. All right, and then number 4. So these don't have y by themselves, so we have to get them by themselves first. Sorry about that. Okay, so we're going to subtract 3x from both sides. Get -y is greater than -2 minus 3x. And we can never leave a negative y, so we divide everything by -1 to get rid of that negative that's with the y. So now we have y, and again, we're going to flip this. Is less than, negative over negative is positive, negative over negative is positive. All right, for the second one, we'll go ahead and bring it down here. So we have 2x plus y is greater than or equal to -3. Subtract the x and whatever number's with it. Now y is already all by itself, so I don't have to divide anything, okay? So I'm going to start with this one, +2. Slope is 3, but remember, we always put it over 1. If we just have a whole number, then you put it over 1. So I'm going to go up 3 and to the right 1. And this one has a less than symbol, so no equal to, so this one's going to be dotted. All right, and then if I replace zeros, 0 is less than 2, which is true. So that means the point 0, 0 is part of the solution. All right, and then I'm going to graph this one down here. So we have -3 and then -2. So again, I can put that over 1. So I'm going to go down 2 to the right 1. Now this one has equal to, so I'm going to do a solid line. All right, and then if I replace zeros, so 0 is greater than or equal to -3, which again is true. So I'm going to shade on the side of the solid line. I'm going to shade the side that has the point 0, 0. And then where it's green, that's your solution. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay? All right, now you just need to work on the next 2 pages. You're just going to work on, you just have 6 of them that you have to do for your quiz. All right, thanks, Preston.